Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the SOOOO Breakdown. Today we're looking at the XXXG-01D2 Gundam Deathscythe Hell Custom. Yeah, all of my complaints about the Wing Zero and the ranged options that it has, but low melee, this is the reverse of that. Melee-wise, the Deathscythe is insane. It has the amazing stun combo there. It has some crazy good combos that allow you to really just get in there and destroy your opponent when it comes to melee. If you are a melee person, we're not even going to wait for the second round to say if you should you use the Deathscythe. Well, if you're a melee person, absolutely you should, because the Deathscythe is amazing for melee. Now what it lacks in melee, or what it has in melee, it lacks in range. It has that stun there, and then it has the machine gun shots, and that's about it. But you can charge the machine gun shots and throw the Deathscythe, which is nice. It gives you an option. You have that nice melee throw there as well. You have this dash that gives you hyper armor and goes into a kick. The real advantage of that is the hyper armor. You can basically blitz not into a Garobi, but through a Garobi with that, which is very nice. You also have Mirage Colloid, which allows you to become untargetable and invisible, which is very useful if you're in a 2v2 or 3v3, where you can get a leg up on your opponent when they might not have expected it because you disappeared and were thus untargetable. However, after your first attack in Mirage Colloid, you are targetable again, so it's very important. Remember that after your attack, you will be able to be hit again. And you can still be hit while you're untargetable, you just can't be targeted, which is pretty nice. The Deathscythe is a melee machine, straight and forward, nothing else there. When it comes to options, the only stun that it has is the one that comes from that melee combo, but it's a very potent stun, and it leaves you in a perfect position to be able to capitalize on. It is a 300 cost, which means it's fairly cheap, which means you don't really have to worry about your health as much as when you're using like a 500. But if you are good with the movement abilities on the Deathscythe, you probably are not going to be hit too often, because it's very nice. It's very powerful when it comes to all of the different options that it has for melee. As long as you can capitalize on that, you're good. Now, the stun is a little hard to land, because there's no tracking on it whatsoever. But we are probably going to have to update the... This didn't used to be a problem. We're probably going to have to update the difficulty on these guys just so we can show the bursts off. The Striker does a basic melee combo as well, which is pretty nice. And it actually has some pretty nice tracking on it too. It will chase them down for a while. And stuns, so not bad at all. Come on, Miliardo. This literally was not a problem until just very recently. And he's in a melee-centric suit, too. I would have assumed he would have been... Alright. Now that we are back, because I can show off the burst, you throw the scythe, you go invisible, and then you come in to grab the scythe and move past. It's a very, very nice, very useful burst, because it seems like a melee burst, but it actually is more of a range burst that results in a melee attack and lets you become untargetable for a second. So should you use the Deathscythe? Yes, if you like to play melee, you should use the Deathscythe. If you prefer ranged, probably not, but if you like melee, you should absolutely use the Deathscythe. But with all that said, I've been Trey, this has been the Full Spectrum, and remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that the Deathscythe has to offer.